Hello Internet, my name is Brink and welcome back to the channel. First off, I just want to say thank you for the insane support on the Quick Rotation Guide series. The responses, the likes, it's been incredible. I really hope you're all enjoying Midnight as much as I do. Also to everyone who sticks around, I want to say I get it. Not everyone likes gnomes like I do. But I think we can all agree, we especially don't like the way they sound. Well, stick to the end, check out my new outro for a subtle message there. And as many of you requested, it's time for a deep dive. But before we do, just one tiny thing. No, it's not a gnome. Now, you know my style. Short, clear and straight to the point. I want to keep that same philosophy here. I don't want to waste anyone's time. So instead of one massive long video, I've split everything into 4 comprehensive episodes. That way, you can quickly find exactly what you need without sitting through a long video. And if you do want to watch the full series from start to finish, I appreciate you. I've got you covered with a full playlist to make that easy. But if you got kids, like I do, or a demanding job, like I do, or just want more time to spend on Midnight, like I do, I get it. Feel free to jump straight to the topic you care about most. I will place on the screen what these episodes cover. In episode 1, we cover the fundamentals, what the class does well, where it struggles, and how to build it properly for different types of content. We'll also break down step priority and go over gear, consumables, and trinket choices. Episode 2 is all about mastering gameplay, how to generate threat, control pools, and how to have the confidence to handle larger packs. In episode 3, we optimize everything around your character, from small gameplay tricks to UI setup, making sure you have every tool you need to perform at your best. And in episode 4, it's the Quick Rotation Guide, that some of you already know. Perfect if you need a fast refresher, and also perfect to skip entirely if you've already seen it. The good news, everything is finished, so you can jump into any episode right now. With that out of the way, it's time to deep dive. A lot of you enjoyed the Quick Rotation Guide, and with Brewmaster performing so well this season, it's no surprise there's been a big demand for a full deep dive. So in this episode, we're covering the foundations, what makes Brewmaster so strong and where its weaknesses lie. After that, I'll walk you through builds for Mythic Plus, Raids and Delves. Then we'll take a closer look at stats, not just what is good, but why they're good, and how to make your character stronger with the right consumables, gear and trinkets. And if you're short on time, no worries, I've added chapters so you can jump straight to whatever it is you need. So what makes Brewmaster unique compared to other tanks? This drunken brawler takes hits like no other tank. Instead of blocking or avoiding damage, he drinks it away. He staggers it, with the occasional dodging and parrying in a martial art fashion. How does Stagger work? Brewmaster delays damage over time, turning incoming hits into a damage over time effect, a dot. For Brewmaster, this is called Stagger. What that means is, incoming physical and even some magical damage gets spread over time, instead of hitting you all at once. This gives you incredible survivability against burst damage, and gives your healer more time to react. An important note I have to make here. Although Stagger prevents you from taking the full amount of damage from a hit immediately, if you don't do anything to mitigate it, you'll still take the full damage, but then spread over the next 10 to 13 seconds. Now in the current season, Restoration Druids are performing really well, and while I'm not much of a healer myself, I've always loved how their healing style works together with the Brewmaster. Both are built around smoothing things out over time. Stagger smooths the damage, and Restore Druid smooths the healing with their HOTS, heals over time. Now just to be clear, Brewmaster works with any healer, all heals are welcome. But from my own experience, especially playing with a strong Restore Druid, it can feel like a very clean and stable combination. Plus, they bring a combat res, which Brewmasters don't have. So why do people struggle with Brewmaster? Most tanks are used to watching their health bar and reacting to it, but Brewmaster doesn't work like that. Your real priority is your stagger bar. Step 1, make stagger visible. If you want to improve instantly, make your stagger very visible. This topic almost belongs in the UI section, but it's so fundamental to how the spec plays, it has to be mentioned here. In the past, Blizzard used a simple color system, green, yellow and red. That still works. Personally, I prefer a large, clean stagger bar in the center of my screen, so I can track it at all times. Step 2. Active damage control. Now comes the important part, managing it. As a Brewmaster, you are always taking damage. Your job is to decide when to remove part of it. Let's start with Purifying Brew. This removes a large portion of your staggered damage, around 50%. That's huge. So you want to use it when your stagger is getting high or dangerous, not randomly. This is where Brewmaster skills really start to show. Timing your purification correctly. Don't use it preemptively. And if you do want to take action in advance to prevent incoming damage, then use Celestial Infusion instead. This will give you an absorb and last for 16 seconds. Don't treat this one like a heal and always have one rolling if you can. Strengths. Brewmaster Monks are extremely durable thanks to Stagger, Shuffle and Celestial Fortune. These tools are helping the monk to smooth out incoming damage. They also have excellent mobility with Roll, Tiger's Lust and Transcendence. The last one, Transcendence, I usually only see this ability used by the more experienced monks, as knowing when to use it in raids or dungeons is kinda niche. You need to know the fight and know what is coming, to know when this tool becomes convenient, like placing it on the ground before a knockback happens, to then teleport back after the blow. But when executed correctly, it really feels amazing. You just blinked from one place to another, just like a mage, but then way cooler. Weaknesses. Brewmasters can be somewhat complex and require many keybinds to play effectively. And I say somewhat because Blizzard has already done a great job pruning, making your core rotation a lot easier. They also have a relative small health pool for a tank, making sustained magic or dot damage more dangerous. Their playstyle can be punishing. When mistakes happen at the wrong time, it can hurt a lot. Like if you forget to stagger a big chunk of your damage. You will see your health drop hard and your healer be like, what the fuck is going on? I couldn't heal you. Finally, their self-healing is limited, meaning they often rely heavily on their healer. Despite brief moments of feeling nearly unkillable, your Vivify and Expel harm are not as strong as they used to be. Talents explained for all gameplay. I've chosen 3 talent builds, one for raids, one for delves and one for Mythic Plus. For raids and delves I'm running Master of Harmony, while Mythic Plus I'm using Shadowpan. Now if you're thinking, hey Brink, I want to use Shadowpan in raids or Master of Harmony in Mythic Plus, that is totally fine. I'll leave all talent import strings in the description below so you can try everything out yourself. Before we get into the builds, let's quickly break down the differences between the two and where they really shine. Both hero talent trees offer similar defensive power, but they achieve it in a different way. Master of Harmony focuses on empowering your core defensive tools, like Purifying Brew and Celestial Brew. It gets an extra charge, and also has cooldown reduction on Celestial Infusion. Master of Harmony is also largely about empowering Tiger Palm through Blackout Combo and Counter-Strike, giving it more single target damage. This makes it a strong choice for more controlled environments like raids and delve bosses. Shadowpan on the other hand, leans into passive damage reduction through frequent dodging. The flurry strikes and the Black Ox damage windows make it perfect for burst AoE moments and shines in AoE heavy content like Mythic Plus. In the end it comes down to preference or tuning, but right now Master of Harmony has a single target edge offensively, especially in lower target situations, thanks to its stronger Tiger Palm bonuses. Now with that out of the way, let's take a look at the talent builds. The first one is Master of Harmony raid build. This raid build prioritizes simplicity and survivability over raw damage, making it easy to pick up for new brewmasters or pushing through more difficult encounters. It leans on strong passive defenses like Naizu Resolve, Awakening Spirit and Tranquil Spirit to help keep you alive under long pressure. And if you do need additional survivability, you can sacrifice some damage dealing talents in favor for some extra mitigation through talents such as High Tolerance and Ox Stance. The second is Master of Harmony Delve build. This Delves build is focused on self-sustain and solo survivability, making it ideal for open world and content without a healer. It uses talents that empower your Tiger Palm synergy and added on top of that some self-healing, while still allowing room for more offensive talent choices. Since incoming damage is generally lower, you can opt into doing more AoE damage or smoother rotation options, depending on your preference. The third one is Shadowpan Mythic Plus build. This Mythic Plus build is designed for a balance of AoE damage and self-sustain, helping you handle the fast-paced and unpredictable nature of dungeons. It picks up key talents like Exploding Keg and Fuel on the Fire to boost your damage. With the variety of situations in Mythic Plus, the build offers flexibility, allowing you to adjust utility and defensive options as needed, especially in higher keys where proper cooldown usage and self-sustain becomes essential. Stats and scaling. A lot of people have been asking about stats. Agility is your main stat, passively increasing the strength of almost every ability and effect in your toolkit. It will universally be your best stat. Armor reduces damage taken from any physical threat. It will not increase your damage dealt. While it's an incredible strong stat, there's little you can do to find more of it beyond wearing higher item level gear. Stamina is also found on nearly every piece of gear, and its only effect is to increase your total health. The same as armor, you don't have to pursue it actively, as it just increases by higher item level gear. Now let's move on to the cool stats, your secondary stats. Critical Strike, 46 rating provides 1%. Critical strikes provide your attacks and heals a chance to be twice as effective. This effect often includes effects like trinkets. Haste, 44 rating, provides 1%. Haste increases attack speed, energy regeneration, and reduces the cooldown of some rotational abilities. As an energy-based specialization, Haste does not reduce Brewmaster's 1 second global cooldown. Mastery, 46 rating, provides 1 mastery point. Your Mastery, Elusive Brawler. Each time you're hit by a melee attack or hit with Blackout Kick, your dodge chance increases, stacking over time. This chance resets whenever you dodge an attack. Your attack power is also increased at all times because of this stat. Versatility, 54 rating provides you 1%, increases all damage and healing, while also reducing damage taken. This also applies to gear effects like trinkets. People often find this a boring stat, but as a tank, I love this one, as it increases your survivability and damage output. Finally, let's talk about Tertiary Stats. There are 3 Tertiary Stats that can randomly appear on any gear when it's obtained: Leech, Avoidance and Speed. With these stats you gain a small amount of the following: additional healing from Leech, additional reduction from Avoidance and movement speed from Speed. However, due to how little control you have over obtaining them and their small scale effects, do not worry about equipping these stats. Just go for higher item level over trying to keep these stats equipped. Consider them as a pleasant little bonus when they pop up. Lastly, Diminishing Returns in Midnight. I see this question a lot. How much crit am I aiming for and how much versatility do I want? A Brewmaster isn't like a mage, where you want to reach a certain crit cap for the sweet spot. Instead, accumulating too much of one secondary stat from your gear leads to diminishing returns. This means that adding more of a same stat beyond a certain threshold results in reduced benefits. These thresholds are fixed and reduce the amount gained from more of a stat rating by 10% per breakpoint. So the reduction isn't huge. Each stat has a different rating threshold where the reduction begins. I will put them up on screen right now. Now let's talk about stat priority for Brewmaster Monk. As a Brewmaster, your priority for secondary stats will vary slightly depending on your preference for gearing, more defensively or offensively. Despite this, item level will frequently be your largest priority, regardless of stats present on the item. So long as a piece of gear has more agility or armor, it will likely be an upgrade. What also nice to know is, regardless of whether you're a Shadowpan or Master of Harmony Brewmaster, your stat priorities will also remain consistent between the 2 hero talents. Defensive Brewmaster stat priority are on the screen right now. When choosing to gear defensively, just remember that there is rarely, if ever, a magic amount of secondary stats that will allow you to survive something you otherwise couldn't. For instance, trading 10% of your critical strike for versatility won't mean you'll suddenly be better at using your defensive abilities, after all. This also means that even if haste is present on a piece of gear, it is likely to still be a defensive upgrade if it's a higher item level. Prioritize obtaining more stats over obtaining better stats. If working with gear at the same item level, follow the defensive stat priority from here. Offensive Brewmaster stat priority are on the screen right now. As always, the best way to know what piece of gear is best for you is to sim yourself. But remember that this will not simulate your defensive potential. This is because damage intake is not something that can be reliably modeled on a fight by fight basis. Gearing and best in slot philosophy. Now let's talk about best in slot gear for Brewmaster Monk. When it comes down to gearing your Brewmaster, increasing your item level is generally more important than optimizing your secondary stats. Again, if you're comparing pieces of the same item level, then you should follow the simple stat priority: crit, versatility, mastery, haste. Of the following items, prioritize acquiring a higher item level weapon first, followed by your tier set and desired trinkets. If necessary, you can always opt to craft additional items without embellishment effects to fill in any remaining armor or accessory slots. Just a quick note on weapon choice. In the rotation guide, I explain how the two different weapons work. With the Midnight Season 1, a two-handed weapon will provide a greater amount of damage in BiS gear. However, the best combination of one-handed weapons are these two. And if you want the best ones, it's not easy to acquire them, as you need to obtain these two Mythic Plus weapons from your vault. Ultimately, use whichever of the two best setups you can obtain first, and default to the two-handed choice whenever you have neither. Wondering which enchants you should apply to your gear? Check out the enchants and consumable list on your screen right now for Brewmaster Monk. Learn about popular gear with Archon. Gearing is a process that takes time and effort, even with powerful items being available from multiple sources. Over the course of acquiring gear, you may not have the best item available for every slot. That's why I just want to highlight Archon, as it's a good website that compiles log data from thousands of players and shows the most popular builds and alternatives. At a glance, you can see what other players have done from different types of content. I'll put a list of BiS items on screen and a link in the description to Archon, where you can find a list of the most popular used items. Tier set and power spikes. Now let's go over the Way of the Raiden's Choice tier set for Brewmaster Monk. 2-piece bonus. Gag Smash damage increased by 10%. Breath of Fire damage increased by 10%. 4-piece bonus. Gag Smash energy cost is reduced by 5. And when it strikes a target affected by Breath of Fire, it deals additional fire damage. To unlock the tier set bonus, you'll need to equip 4 pieces of tier set. And because of the haste heavy stats on some items, you will prefer equipping the tier pieces on these slots: helm, shoulder, chest and gloves. Now let's talk about how this affects your rotation. In general, tier set bonuses usually change how you play quite a bit, but for Brewmaster Monks this season, the changes are actually very small. The 2-piece bonus just makes Gag Smash and Breath of Fire hit a little harder, but it doesn't really change what buttons you press or when you press them. Your rotation stays basically the same. That said, there is a bit of interaction with Dragonfire Brew, which can make it slightly better choice compared to Shard Passions in single target fights. The 4-piece bonus might sound impactful, but it really isn't. It reduces the energy cost of Gag Smash, but your Apex talents already mostly remove that cost anyway, so you don't really feel it in practice. I'll explain. Because of Bring Me Another, your extra Gag Smash charges from brew abilities already cost no energy, so you're basically trying to use those bonus charges as often as possible anyway, and the tier set doesn't change that gameplay. The only small benefit is that outside of those Apex moments, you might feel a slightly smoother energy flow, especially if you're using Bob and Weave instead of Blackhawk's Brew, since it helps a bit during unlucky energy situations. And finally, the extra fire damage, shown as extra kick, doesn't change your rotation at all. It's just a small bonus, and only gives a bit of extra healing if you're talented into Vital Flame. These are the best Brewmaster Monk consumables. Your default flask in Midnight is Flask of the Shattered Sun, because it gives you critical strike, which is generally the best all-around stat. But depending on your gear, you might sometimes use other options instead. For example, Flask of Thalassian Resistance. Use Shattered Sun most of the time, swap to the others if your gear setup makes them stronger for you. And that's it for episode 1. We covered a lot in this video, just going over these core topics, so we're going to wrap things up here. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, drop a comment below and let me know. This is just the first episode of the deep dive. There are a few more coming. I'll put the other episodes and what they're about on screen right now, so you can see what's next and what we will be covering going forward. So make sure to stay tuned for those. With all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and until next time, Brinks out.